The spark ignites. The days that followed their unlikely encounter were a whirlwind of stolen moments and clandestine meetings. Aden, ever the romantic, would find Lilith in her hidden studio, a sanctuary tucked away in a forgotten corner of the city. He'd bring her gifts, a single crimson rose, a worn book of poetry, a steaming cup of coffee from her favorite cafe, small gestures that spoke volumes about his growing affection. Lilith, though initially resistant, found herself softening under his persistent charm. His youthfulness was a refreshing contrast to the endless centuries she'd spent navigating a world steeped in darkness and betrayal. He saw her not as a creature of the night, but as a woman of immense strength and hidden depths. Their conversations spanned centuries and continents, a chaotic blend of ancient lore and modern anxieties. He regaled her with tales of college life, his dreams of becoming a history professor, his struggles with late-night essays, and the frustrating complexities of relationships. She, in turn, shared fragments of her past, carefully chosen details that hinted at the extraordinary life she led, but carefully avoided revealing the truth of her vampiric existence. She recounted stories of grand castles and forgotten empires, of battles fought under the moonlit skies and alliances forged in the heart of darkness. She spoke of the intoxicating power of fire and the chilling beauty of eternal twilight. It was a carefully crafted dance, a delicate balancing act between revelation and concealment. One evening, they found themselves perched atop the Empire State Building, the city sprawling beneath them like a glittering tapestry of light and shadow. The wind whipped through their hair, carrying with it the scent of rain and distant sirens. The city, a concrete jungle that had seen countless generations rise and fall, felt strangely insignificant under the vast expanse of the star-studded sky. Aden, emboldened by their growing intimacy, reached out and took Lilith's hand. The contact was electric, a silent acknowledgement of the potent bond that had formed between them. In that moment, amidst the breathtaking panorama of the city, their connection transcended the boundaries of time and mortality. The city's relentless energy mirrored the growing intensity of their feelings. Their connection deepened with each passing day, a slow burn that defied logic and reason. They explored the city together, discovering hidden cafes, obscure bookstores, and quiet parks where they could escape the relentless rhythm of urban life. They spent hours in museums, poring over ancient artifacts, their shared interest in history fueling their burgeoning romance. Aden's enthusiasm was contagious, his unwavering optimism a stark contrast to Lilith's weary cynicism. She found herself drawn to his unyielding spirit, his refusal to accept the darkness that had become an intrinsic part of her existence. Their shared passion for history, however, started to take on a darker undercurrent. Aden's knowledge of Slavic mythology and folklore extended far beyond the realm of academic research. He possessed an uncanny understanding of her own lineage, details that should have been lost to time, facts that only she could have possibly known. He seemed to instinctively understand the nuances of her powers, her vulnerabilities, the hidden shadows that lurked within her soul. The more they learned about each other, the more they understood that their encounter was no mere coincidence, a chance meeting in a grimy alleyway. Their relationship was intertwined with a deeper, more ancient destiny, a legacy that spanned centuries and reached back to the very origins of their kind. One night, during a rare moment of vulnerability, Lilith confessed her secret to Aden. She told him about her true nature, her centuries-long existence as a vampire. She expected fear, revulsion, perhaps even outright rejection. Instead, Aden listened with rapt attention, his eyes wide with wonder and a touch of awe. He wasn't frightened. He was captivated. He had suspected something was different about her, something extraordinary, but her confession only confirmed the undeniable magic that had always been present between them. He accepted her for who she was, a centuries-old vampire with an immense capacity for both love and destruction. Their love blossomed in the heart of New York City, a vibrant tapestry of contradictions, where skyscrapers touched the sky and shadows lingered in forgotten alleyways. They navigated their relationship with caution, their clandestine meetings punctuated by stolen kisses and whispered secrets. They knew their love was unconventional, a defiance of nature's laws and the very fabric of reality. but their bond was unbreakable, a testament to the enduring power of love that transcended time and the boundaries of the mortal and supernatural worlds. Lilith found herself falling deeply in love with Aden, a vulnerability she hadn't felt in centuries. The youthful exuberance, the unwavering optimism, the sheer unadulterated joy in his being, it was intoxicating. His affection awakened something within her that she thought had long been buried, a tender heart she had meticulously protected behind centuries of carefully constructed walls. She cherished the moments they shared, the simple joys that gave her existence meaning and purpose. They discovered hidden beauty in the mundane. They explored the city's hidden gems, found solace in its quiet parks, and reveled in its vibrant energy. They had picnics in Central Park, stargazed from rooftop bars, and danced to the rhythms of the city's pulsating heart. Their love story unfolded against the backdrop of a city that never slept, a city that mirrored the complexities and intensity of their unconventional romance. Their relationship, however, wasn't without its challenges. Lilith's secret life as a vampire presented constant dangers. She constantly had to be alert, vigilant, always wary of those who might discover her true nature. She knew that their unconventional love could never truly exist in the open, a burden that weighed heavily on her heart. Despite the inherent risks, their love for each other grew stronger. They supported each other, faced their fears together, and discovered the strength in their shared vulnerabilities. They learned from each other, Lilith's centuries of wisdom counteracting Aden's youthful enthusiasm, a harmonious dance of experience and innocence. One day, while spending time together, a sudden shadow fell across them, a dark presence signaling the arrival of an unexpected and dangerous force. Lilith instinctively sensed the threat, her centuries of survival instincts taking over. The air crackled with an ominous energy, a palpable shift in the atmosphere that signaled the imminent danger. Aden, despite his lack of experience with the supernatural, could feel the shift in the energy around them, a growing sense of unease that mirrored Lilith's own fear. This was no ordinary threat. This was something far more sinister, something that threatened to tear their world apart. The city's vibrant energy was suddenly eclipsed by a chilling wave of darkness. The idyllic afternoon abruptly dissolved into an impending storm of unimaginable proportions. Their quiet haven was now a battleground, and their love story was about to take a dangerous turn. Their idyllic romance was about to be tested in ways neither could have ever imagined. The spark they shared ignited into a raging inferno, and their journey was far from over. Secrets unveiled. The weight of her secret pressed down on Lilith, a constant, suffocating presence in the otherwise vibrant tapestry of her burgeoning romance with Aden. The stolen moments, the clandestine meetings, the carefully constructed facade, it was all becoming increasingly unsustainable. The city, once their sanctuary, now felt like a cage, its bustling streets a potential hunting ground for those who could unravel her carefully woven lie. She found herself flinching at sudden noises, her senses hyper-alert, constantly scanning the surroundings for any hint of danger. The carefree joy she had experienced in Aden's company was slowly being eroded by the ever-present threat of exposure. One rainy afternoon, while strolling through Washington Square Park, a figure emerged from the swirling mists, a gaunt, pale man with eyes like chips of obsidian. He moved with an unnatural grace, his presence radiating a chilling aura that sent a shiver down Lilith's spine. He was a vampire, one of the older, more powerful kind, his very being exuding an ancient malevolence that Lilith instinctively recognized. The man's gaze locked onto Lilith, a predatory gleam in his eyes that pierced through her carefully crafted illusion of normalcy. Aden, oblivious to the threat, continued chatting animatedly about a history lecture he'd attended that morning, his words lost in the growing tension that enveloped them. The vampire approached, his movements fluid and sinuous. He spoke in a low, raspy voice, his words laced with a cruel amusement that sent a chill down Lilith's spine. He knew her secret, recognized her lineage, a terrifying revelation that threatened to expose her to a world she had carefully avoided for centuries. He wasn't just another vampire, he was a hunter, a predator who saw her not as a kindred spirit, but as prey. He spoke of Lucian, her father, mentioning his relentless pursuit of her, adding a layer of fear to Lilith's already escalating anxiety. The confrontation escalated quickly. The vampire lunged, his fangs bared, his intention clear. Lilith reacted instinctively, her supernatural abilities erupting with a force that sent the rain scattering and the park's visitors scattering in terror. Fire erupted from her fingertips, a searing inferno that repelled the attacker and forced him to retreat into the shadows. Aden, caught in the crossfire of supernatural forces, stared in stunned disbelief as he witnessed Lilith's true nature unfold before his eyes. The serene afternoon had transformed into a terrifying battleground, the reality of Lilith's existence shattering the delicate balance of their fragile world. The shock was palpable, a silence that hung heavy in the air after the battle subsided, broken only by the rhythmic drumming of the rain. Aden's face was a mask of disbelief, his eyes wide with a mixture of awe, fear, and an overwhelming sense of the unknown. He had known there was something extraordinary about Lilith, a sense of ancient power that permeated her being, but the reality exceeded his wildest imaginings. He had accepted her unconventional nature, but seeing her unleash the destructive power of fire had shaken him to his core. The romantic notion of their relationship had been brutally confronted with the hard, unyielding truth of her vampiric existence. Lilith, her heart pounding in her chest, braced herself for his reaction. She expected fear, revulsion, perhaps even outright rejection. The possibilities that spiraled through her mind were endless, and none of them seemed appealing or acceptable. She had built a wall around her heart, protecting it from the potential pain of rejection. She had expected rejection, but not the quiet acceptance she encountered. The vulnerability of the situation hung heavy in the air, and she found it hard to breathe. But to her surprise, Aden's initial fear quickly gave way to something else. A profound awe, a sense of wonder at the power she possessed. His eyes, though still wide with shock, were filled with a strange mix of admiration and excitement. He saw not a monster, but a woman of immense strength and ancient lineage, a creature of myth and legend made real before his very eyes. He approached her cautiously, his hand reaching out to touch hers, his touch tentative, filled with a hesitant gentleness that calmed her racing heart. I knew there was something different about you," he stammered, his voice barely a whisper, "but I never imagined—" He trailed off, his gaze locked on hers, a myriad of emotions swirling within those beautiful brown eyes. There was wonder, there was fear, there was love. His acceptance wasn't a passive acquiescence. It was a testament to the deep, profound connection they had formed. He wasn't just accepting her secret, he was embracing the entirety of her being, her past, her present, and her extraordinary future. His touch was a comfort, a reassurance in a world that had suddenly turned upside down. The rain continued to fall, washing away the dust and grime of the city, cleansing the air of the lingering tension. The confrontation had shaken them to their core, but it had also strengthened their bond. The initial shock had given way to a deeper understanding, a shared acceptance of the extraordinary reality they now inhabited. Their love story was no longer a simple romance. It was a journey into the unknown, a dance between mortality and immortality, a testament to the enduring power of love in a world where magic and darkness intertwined. The revelation changed the dynamic of their relationship, shifting their connection from a forbidden romance to a shared adventure. Aden's initial fear gave way to a growing fascination with the supernatural world, his curiosity igniting a thirst for knowledge that went beyond the dusty pages of history books. Lilith, in turn, found herself drawn to his unwavering enthusiasm, his unwavering belief in her, a belief she had long forgotten she even desired. They began to explore the world of vampires together, delving into the ancient lore and hidden histories that had shaped Lilith's existence. Aden, with his academic mind, became Lilith's invaluable partner, helping her to understand and navigate the complexities of her own heritage. His understanding wasn't just intellectual, it was deeply empathetic, born from a genuine love and acceptance that transcended the boundaries of their vastly different worlds. He learned about her past, about her struggles, her victories, her losses. He discovered the depths of her soul, her immense capacity for both love and destruction. Their relationship deepened, their bond strengthened by the shared experience of their first encounter with the supernatural world. They faced their fears together, their love a beacon of hope in a world of shadows and darkness. They learned to trust each other implicitly, their mutual vulnerability forging a bond that was stronger than any magic or spell. They learned to communicate on a level that transcended words, understanding each other's unspoken fears and unspoken desires. The city around them, once a symbol of separation, now became a canvas upon which their extraordinary love story unfolded. The revelation of Lilith's true nature was not the end of their journey, but rather a catalyst for a new beginning. It was the beginning of a journey into a world beyond their wildest imaginations. A journey that would test their love, their courage, and their commitment to each other in ways neither could have ever anticipated. The rain stopped, and a faint ray of sunshine peeked through the clouds, illuminating the path ahead. Their future was uncertain, fraught with danger, but they faced it together, hand in hand, their love a shield against the darkness that threatened to consume them. Their relationship, once a clandestine affair, was evolving into something far greater, a powerful alliance against the forces that threatened their very existence. The city that never sleeps would witness a love story like no other, a tale of mortals and immortals, of love and sacrifice, of darkness and light, a love that defied the laws of nature and the constraints of time. Their journey had just begun. Stay tuned for Chapter 3. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video.